Greetings and welcome once again to my new calculus channel. I'm John Gabriel, and today I'm going to be talking to you about what came first and then subsequently in the history of mathematics. It's unlike anything you've ever heard or read because whatever you've heard or read is mostly mythology, mostly nonsense, totally untrue. So let me begin. Now, what came first in mathematics and thereafter? The answers are as follows. The first thing that was realized were the foundations of mathematics, and they were established by my brilliant, beyond brilliant ancestors, the ancient Greeks. No one came close to their clarity of thought, either before or after them. Now, the five requirements of Euclid are the first ever in any valid systematic thought, and each are dependent on the previous, with the first being the shortest distance or the straightest or the straight line. Okay, so these, my friends, are not the joke of ZFC axioms and the Bourbaki group of 14 morons or idiots who conjured them. How can you know? You can read this in my fine article, The Elements Prologue. Okay, it tells you how the five requirements of Euclid are derived from absolutely nothing. Okay? In other words, all you need is a brain and the ability to think, obviously. That's all you need. And very few have ever come close to this clarity and genius which I present to you in this article. It's mind-boggling. Okay, it is not asking you to believe in anything. You don't have to. I mean, it's absolutely silly and stupid if you say something that everything comes from axioms. Because look, in order, if you accept that every concept originates from the human brain, then it logically follows that an axiom also emerges from a cognitive process, doesn't it? So axioms are basically an untenable concept. They're garbage, right? And you have to believe. Now, unlike those fine baboons in your mainstream academia, Terence Tao, Andrew Wiles, Gilbert Strang, all those prize idiots, Jack Hazingers, whoever, right? Those fools did not understand these things. They were totally baffled. They fell for the utter and complete stupidity of the Bourbaki group of baboons who came up with the nine ZFC beliefs. Okay, so now these incorrigibly stupid imbeciles of Bourbaki were unable to piece the puzzle together of what Euclid was attempting to write down. Okay, so what was Euclid attempting to write down? Well, he was trying to formulate a complete theory of number. Okay. And so, in their utter ignorance and stupidity, they shut out the garbage set theory of George Cantor, that delusional fool, and the ZFC crap axioms. I suppose when one can't understand, then faith and belief are the only way to avoid being called what they actually are. So, after the revised Elements Prologue, what do you think came next? So what is in the revised elements prologue? Things like, let's see, well-formed concepts, how to identify well-formed concepts, how to reify paths, straight lines, extended lines, diminished lines, circles. Uh, Lots of interesting things in this article that you won't find anywhere else. Okay, all the way up to definition of parallel lines, uh, how these angles are derived, and how the equalities are established with all the different corresponding and alternate angles, etc. And so you'll find this a gem of fantastic knowledge that is not available anywhere in the bullshit mainstream mathematics. This is real mathematics, not rubbish of the big stupid. The big stupid are the people who sit on top of the academia trash heap. People like that little dimwit, Terence Tao, um, Andrew Wiles, all those fools, okay, whose total, I mean, all the Abel Prize dimwits who got prizes for the biggest and most garbage theories that are not even to be called mathematics, by the way, because set theory is not mathematics. It's nonsense. So they've injected all the stuff into a mathematics course, forcing you to study their mythology. They long ago left mathematics. After calculus and linear algebra, anything in a mainstream math course is not mathematics, it's mythmatics. Okay. So that's where you get things like set theory, real analysis, topology, and goodness, the loads of just utter garbage that you get in the mainstream. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to put these cranks out of a job. I don't like, personally, I don't agree with Trump on many things, but he did some good things. He's closing down the education department. He is not conceding to those who think that gender can be a third thing, because the only genders are male and female. And yeah, I agree with those thoughts. And you know why I think the Democrats lost? Because of those frigging idiot gender liberal issues. That's why they lost. Okay, that is the main reason they lost. And of course, Trump was smart enough to realize that, and he banked on it. And so they failed. Too bad, because he's doing some very bad things with Ukraine. That's sad. It's wrong. But anyway, I'm glad I'm not the president. And I wish he would put all these mainstream mathematicians out of a job, because they have, together as a religious cult, taken mathematics back 250 years, if not more. Okay. They're a bunch of incorrigible morons who cannot be reasoned with. Their arrogance is bigger than their assholes. And quite frankly, I hate to say this, but a lot of them should really be put out of work and given a janitorial job or a toilet cleaning job or something like that. I don't know, because they're not mathematicians. They're not even worthy to be called a mathematician's annula. You look that up. Now, the second thing you need to do is read how you realize your arithmetic operations before number. Okay, long before number. That's where my genius comes in, and you'll find that in this article. Again, number, uh, not number, the arithmetic done with ratios of magnitudes, and it's all in here. I explain to you step by step so that even the dumbest of you can understand this if you try. It's really that simple. But has it ever been revealed before? No, because the Bourbaki morons were the first who even failed. You know, they just turned around and said, we can just define these things. No, you can't. You utter idiots. There is no way you can just sit down, you bumbling morons, and say that P over Q uh, plus, let's say, R over S is anything else excepting QS and PS and QR. Okay. There's no way you can define it as anything else but that. And where does this come from? I explained to you, without numbers, without algebra. It comes long before algebra. Long. Okay. And that is all in here. Gabriel arithmetic without numbers. I hate to say this, but not even the ancient Greeks wrote this down. And I give myself 1,000 pats on the shoulder. I'm an absolute fucking genius that I was able to come up with this. None of you morons would realize this. I mean, if you look at the articles that you get on Academia and that pathetic ResearchGate site, they're so full of crap. And I mean, they talk about students and teachers misunderstanding of fractions. They don't even know what a number is. That's how bad it is. That is how bad the state of current mainstream mathematics is, and why there are so many problems. A lot of them should be fired. I'm serious. The whole head of the serpent is rotten. It needs to be cut off. These guys need to be kicked out. There's no other alternative. They can't be reasoned with. They can't admit they're wrong. Therefore, they need to leave. So in this article, I, the great John Gabriel, reveal to you lesser mortals how you got arithmetic long before numbers. Get that? Long before numbers. You didn't know that, did you? Once arithmetic, and by the way, you can read thousands of garbage books on how do we get number and blah blah blah. They're all rubbish. I mean, they all waste your time by saying, "Oh yeah," and some bushman wrote lines for to count sticks. That's all just BS. They didn't even realize the concept of number. Okay, in fact, you don't even need to know number to count. If you go back to Cantor's primitive set theory system, you can basically just have uh, one stick for each little sheep. Okay, well, that's not a sheep, but anyway, you get the idea. And another stick for another sheep, and so on. So you don't have to count. Okay, that's Cantor's primitive set theory. Now, the final step is once arithmetic was realized by the Pythagoreans. Yes, arithmetic was realized by the Pythagoreans. They didn't write the Gabriel arithmetic article. I did. I, the great John Gabriel. I'm reinforcing that because you assholes out there don't know what you're talking about. So once arithmetic was realized, they discovered algebra. Yes, it wasn't called algebra then, you morons. But it was algebra because it's measured with an abstract unit. How do you think they got that immeasurable or incommensurable magnitude that you think of as square root 2? There's no number square root 2. There's no such thing as the number square root 2. It's a myth. There's no such thing as pi. It's a myth. There is the failed measure of circumference to diameter. There is the failed measure of uh, square diagonal to side. It's not a number. So, and I don't care what you think is a number because you're idiots. So I show now, after arithmetic was realized by Pythagoreans, how they moved from measure of ratios of magnitudes to geometrical physical units to algebraic abstract units. Okay, how they moved from geometric physical units to algebraic abstract units, because in Gabriel arithmetic, you do all the four basic operations with ratios of magnitudes. Okay, and in algebra, you don't want to deal with ratios of magnitudes anymore. You want to just deal with numbers. And how do you do that? Well, I explained to you in this article. So these three articles will answer every single question you've had. And I mean every question you've ever had about mathematics. Download these articles. You will not be able to download or read them if you're not a free member of Academia. Okay. So what you need to do first, listen carefully, morons. You need to go to Academia.edu. You need to create a free account. You can do this with your Google login if you want. Then you need to log in, and then you can read these fantastic articles. Okay? You can read everything that you want to know inside here. Number is not whatever you imagine it to be, idiots, or whatever your inferior minds concoct. It is exactly what I have defined it to be based on the brilliance of my ancestors. Yes, I have Greek ancestry. And if you're not already a subscriber, become a subscriber to my channel. Click like, follow me on Academia.edu, and look up my ebooks on Kindle. Okay, so you'll get them if you go to my Amazon Kindle page. And they're great books. By the way, this one I would say is probably the most important one I've ever written. The Importance of Learning the Right Way. What does division mean in mathematics? So if those idiots on ResearchGate and Academia knew what they were talking about where fractions are concerned, teachers would be teaching these concepts correctly and nobody would have any problems with mathematics. But you have problems because you have the big stupid. And who is the big stupid? Your math teachers, your math professors, and all those people who receive Able prizes and Fields Medal winners. They are the big stupid, and they will remain in control until you put them out of business. Don't follow a math degree, it's useless. You can study math on your own. Take something like engineering, architecture, software development. That's what I did. Chemistry, physics, anything else. But don't spend a penny learning the crap that they throw at you in a mainstream course. It's worthless junk. I'm John Gabriel, and this is a new Calculus channel. Till next time, goodbye.